tickets available for the live event. We're working on tools that you can do online to search for things. So there'll be a whole series of related products. So that first round of folks are really going to be able to test it.
And so give us an example of one of the, the end users. What is a typical end user?
Absolutely. I just ran a story in Water Citizen News, or publication, about a guy named Mark Shively who was approached by his water utility, and they said, there's problems with our water and nobody else is mean enough to do anything about it. We need you to run for the water board. So it's people who invest their own time and money, go every month, every other month or whatever, to serve on a board, or to work in Rotary and raise money for wells in Africa, whatever. And in many cases they say, you know what, we need to tell our story on Capitol Hill. We need to get involved in what's going on. There ought to be a law, or there is a law that's being considered, and we want to
how many people on your Facebook page are, have signed up, done the likes on your Facebook page? Or
Facebook is one we've been going primarily through our news site. Our news site, we've got at this point got 2,100 subscribers and 1,500 unique visitors per month. And so our list has lists.
And they're not paying yet.
They're not paying yet. Yeah. So we have had many, a lot of interest from big corporate sponsors and money to be involved, and we can't keep waiting for that to come through. We want to go straight to the folks who are going to be those end users. But that provides a funnel. That really is a tremendous engagement tool. A number of our articles have been tremendously popular, very multimedia sorts of things about anything you can imagine about water.
So
your fee is $297 per member.
Per member.
And that's for a year?
So it's a one-year membership in the membership group that I've seen, plus a 5-week educational program. It's done through Google Hangouts. I've got a number of folks that are ready to come in as guest speakers on that. People from the Congressional Research Service and congressional staff and things like that. We really help break down how do things work, which committees do what, how can people get involved, and not just lobbying.
So there's a whole educational
piece.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kat, is there a water lobby? I mean, it sounds like this could be a water lobby.
Yeah. Well, and actually the L word, especially we're kind of
I jumped right into it.
Yeah.
The limousine and the suit, and
The Water Pollution Control Federation.
Well, and that's I know all of them actually. Yes.
Because there's huge money.
So what is
100,000 people
exactly.
that are each probably willing.
Right. So there is the large organizations. What happens is they are very specialized. So the water pollution people are only focused on pollution. The oceans people are only focused on.
So you could be the Switzerland of all water.
That's us.
So anybody else have any suggestions?
Yes.
Just sort of relating to what I wanted to hear in your talk was you were very clear about what is going on in Congress. You didn't speak until these questions about what are you bringing to it and how do you make that connection. What's your role? So it was you sold that there's a lot of interest out there and there's a market out there because there's important things happening, but
So
I wanted to hear more about what exactly you were doing to help people be effective in their connection with Congress.
Excellent. Yeah. I mean, our mission as a company is to elevate the water dialogue, improve the water information infrastructure, and make water sexy. And thank you very much for worrying about it.
Okay, so one of the questions that I'd love to hear response from, or one of the issues was, she's looking for money right now, but I'm unclear of what that money, if I gave you a check right today, what that money might get, where that money will get you, and then how do I get my money back?
Right.
That was unclear about, it sounded to me like this was an advocacy organization as opposed to a business. So talk to us about the business proposition.
yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah, I mean, this is developed as a business and education folks. You know, in this case, this is an education-based product and a knowledge-based product. And so you're talking for this particular.
What is the $500 get? Where does that get you right now?
Right now, what, just to ensure that everything gets paid so that we stay online, okay, while we're getting through the promotion of the program, the initial webinar, the initial enrollment, make sure we get through the, you know, it's basically a 10-day enrollment. This is, you know, free webinar, open up the enrollment for 10 days, get the program started, then there's a 30-day guarantee, so we need to make sure on a cash basis that we get through that. So,
Back
yeah.
here?
Kat, you and I, when we first met you, introduced this concept to me, and the thing that I remember, this was a couple months ago, it sticks in my mind now, is you told me that it was, you ultimately plan to be the Discovery Channel of water advocacy. And I personally, I would strongly urge you to lead with that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that stuck in my mind, I got it immediately when you said it. So, and then you can start with that and then just expound on it, you know, by describing this. And that's what you did actually, you just described the Discovery Channel's business model to me, how they got from conception to where they are today, and how you plan to do something very similar for water advocacy.
Yeah. Well, and essentially what we're doing is, you know, we do have this umbrella organization, Water Citizen, Water News, Education, and Watertainment. So working in all those channels, and what we decided to do is just focus in on one area, on the education area, focus in on one unique product. I live on Capitol Hill. You know, my BlackBerry is in addition to this video, is full of all these contacts and all this knowledge. And I'm in a unique position of not being having a stake in either side of any of these issues.
Right,
but knowing
but
that.
on the business side of it, I think you make a very
Yes.
compelling point, that if you really want to capture people's hearts and minds, you have to think about the really big opportunity and then focus in on, okay, so that's the big vision, that's what we're working towards, but right now we're going to focus on education.
Right.
So
You
this
need-
is
You need focus.
the one program that we're launching next week is Congressional Water Champions. So this is.
And do you have a
education.
sponsor for that, or somebody who's,
I've been self-funded, and I'm, you know, getting to the end of that.
great.
So,
Last comment, Lex?
Sounds like a great Kickstarter opportunity. You could offer, first of all, your
Yeah.
market is very diffuse. You're gonna have to reach a lot of people, it seems to me, and find that small percentage that are passionate about water, even though we all need it. I think Kickstarter also provides you the opportunity where you could offer a membership, and you can find your price point of Kickstarter quite nicely. You start out with, you know, the first 100 are $300, the next 100 are $350, the next 100 are $400. See how far up the chain folks would go and figure out what your membership is really worth. Reach a larger audience and raise the money you're looking for.
It's a great idea.
you know, and Kickstarter, I've looked extensively at Kickstarter with a lot of things. You know, Kickstarter takes a serious amount of preparation, of time, of resources. Develop your video, develop your tiering plans, and promote it before you get it started.
Well, you have a
it's
video
challenge.
right now.
It
is.
It's going to be a lot better than this.
Well, anyway,
yeah.
that's
Okay.
a great idea, because obviously we know that in Kickstarter or Indiegogo, these are the kinds of projects that they're really interested in funding.
And essentially, I'm modeling this after what a lot of people have done with courses and, you know, coaching programs and things that they've developed at home at their kitchen tables with very few resources, don't have the upfront capital. They get their message out. They leverage off of partnerships and joint venture opportunities, and they get the word out, and they sign up people in the class. And that's where we're starting.
Well, and so the opportunity here is to help her find people that would front her the money, the bridge loan, to get her to the public as quickly as possible. Last comment?
I know you're focusing, you know, in the near term, but just to piggyback on the Kickstarter idea, if you were to do that, once
Yeah.
you put it on Kickstarter, you could put that your Kickstarter campaign in front of water advocacy groups instead of waiting for just the general population that Kickstarter promotes to respond. You can take it straight to the heads of those organizations and say, hey, look, can you disseminate this to your group? And then you have built-in interest with each of those groups that you promote it to. And I would think that your Kickstarter campaign would raise a lot.
And that's basically who our joint partnerships are with the water advocacy groups and the associations.
But they're not giving you money, so this is a way to do it.
They're going to get in front of people.
Right.
Absolutely.
This is great, Kat. Thank you so much.
Thank you.